Hello Scrubs, Danalynnex here, and I'm walking you through the Queen of Ice, Mei, not to be confused with Elsa or Weiss from Ruby. Even though she's one of the most positive and bubbly heroes in Overwatch, Mei actually has one of the most tragic backstories, besides Widowmaker, obviously. She's dedicated her life to studying climate science to make the world a better place, and was stationed at one of Overwatch's eco-watch points. You've probably seen her short, but just in case, after a really bad storm hit the station, Mei and her team entered a cryostasis until they could be rescued. But when Mei eventually woke up, she was sadly the only survivor. With the help of her pal Snowball, Mei dedicated herself to escaping the cold and returning to help the world. Now, let's talk about what Mei can do. Mei is easily one of the most versatile characters in the game and can be used in a lot of different situations. That said, knowing when and how to use each of her abilities makes her harder to play than your average hero. Mei is excellent in one-on-one and also shines in defense situations. Her healing abilities let her be played as a sort of tank, but she is not invincible and can easily be killed by heroes who do more damage and can stay away from her close and ranged attacks. Now, let's jump in and talk about her weapons and abilities. Mei's main weapon is the Endothermic Blaster. Endothermic Blaster. When you hold down the fire button, she blasts a beam of ice that will slowly freeze enemies until they are completely frozen for about 1.5 seconds. Her secondary fire will shoot an icicle that deals heavy damage, but can be hard to aim correctly because of the slight delay when firing. The best way to use Mei's weapon is to first freeze your enemies with the primary fire, and then quickly line up a headshot with an icicle. This combo will take down most enemies with regular health, but it can also help your teammates focus fire and take down an enemy tank. Hey, like those annoying Winstons that won't get off the payload in total mayhem? Just saying. One of Mei's best abilities is Cryo-Freeze. Mei will freeze herself in a huge block of ice and recover up to 150 health. While she's frozen, she can't be damaged and is immune to most debuffs. It is important to note, you can cancel the freeze whenever you want, so it can be used to recover a tiny bit of health quickly, or to shield you from something like D.Va's self-destruct ability. It's also really effective if you need to buy time for your team to get to a capture point or payload. Mei's Ice Wall is a really effective defensive ability that has a lot of different uses depending on how you decide to use it. It can be used to shield your team from incoming fire, block off an entry point so the enemy has to find a different way in, or block off a camping enemy hero that's causing problems like a Bastion or a Torbjorn or a Widowmaker even. If you press the wall button before placing the wall, you will switch the wall's orientation between the side to side and front to back. One thing to be careful of when using Ice Wall is blocking your own teammates off and stranding them with enemies. So it is very helpful to kind of call out when you're about to do this ability. Mei's ultimate ability is called Blizzard and is one of the most powerful ultimates in the game. Mei throws her drone at a targeted area and unleashes a circle of freezing wind. Some might say she lets it go. Any enemies caught in the storm for 2.5 seconds will be frozen for some time. One thing to note is that Blizzard reaches surprisingly high in the air, so even airborne enemies like Pharah will have trouble escaping. This ability is best used in crowd control scenarios, like if you really need to slow down or stop an enemy team from pushing a payload or to clear a control point. Overall, Mei is a survivor and a super flexible hero that can help in a lot of different situations. She's really good when used to take down smaller enemies one-on-one with her freezing abilities and protect her teammates as well. But she is best used as a constant survivor that can keep herself alive and buy enough time for your team if needed. Alright Scrubs, that is the end of our Mei walkthrough. Please tap that like button and please subscribe to SLAYTRIX and her other channels, Snarled and Hissy Fit. And if I missed anything in this Mei walkthrough, please comment your tips and tricks to becoming an ultimate Mei player. And remember, the world is worth fighting for. The D out.